I think you guys can hear me now. So I'm going to restart the introduction. I apologize. That is my mistake on my side. So I'll go ahead and restart. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the stream. This is episode 2, and I am thrilled to have you here. Just a reminder, I'll be streaming every Friday or Saturday morning as we move forward. I'm still trying to figure out what day works best for the stream. So just stay tuned as we experiment with the schedule. These streams are all about giving you a quick recap of what's happening in the tech world, with a strong focus on Apple products and news. For today's episode, we got some fantastic stories. We'll touch base on Apple Intelligence and explore what it could mean for the future of AI integration in the Apple ecosystem. But has Apple already failed at it? That's the question that we'll kind of try to answer today, or kind of go over, right? We'll also touch base on the FBI's recent warning about the lack of encryption for text messages between Apple products and Android products, a topic you won't want to miss. And finally, we'll touch base on OpenAI, and it's taken a big step forward, giving you free access to ChatGPT available for phone calls and text messages via WhatsApp. We'll also touch base on one of my little drones that the Hover Air X1 Pro that they were kind enough to send me out to review. So that's what's going on in this episode. So let's dive right in. So first we'll touch base on the Apple Intelligence. And if you guys have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to shoot me out a comment. Let me pull those up real quick. So Apple Intelligence. Yes, we got the first layer of features. We've been introduced to things like the writing tools, the summaries, which some of them aren't so great. Those summaries have gotten some kickback, especially with like breakup messages coming through, news that just broke about certain sensitive topics and being summarized wrong. So that's very summaries. Obviously, it's a brand new thing. They're still trying to perfect it. They definitely don't have it right now. Now, has Apple already failed in presenting Apple Intelligence to us? Now, not only is it very limited, we're talking about only the latest iPhones have it. So we're talking about the iPhone 15 Pro, 15 Pro Max, and the entire iPhone 16 lineup. That's the issue, right? When it's so limited and you're trying to make it such a grand thing, I would have thought that they would have tried to at least include the iPhone 14 Pros in this. However, I don't know if it was lack of planning or just obviously they assume that you're going to upgrade your phone much faster than you are your MacBook Pro or your iPad. So a lot of us upgrade their phones, I don't know, every 2 to 3 years. Obviously, some of you out there are blessed enough to get it out every year, or you guys, maybe some of you just don't like to update at all, so you hold off for 5, 6, 7 years. But the problem here is that it's so limited. I don't know the exact percentage of people that upgraded to the iPhone 16, but it's not that much. Now, the iPad lineup, yes, you get a lot more support because if you have an M series iPad, M series chip iPad, then you do get Apple Intelligence. So, but that's the top of the end iPad. Once again, what are the percentage of people that actually get the iPad Pro versus an iPad Air or an iPad Mini? And yes, the new iPad Mini that just came out in 2024 does support Apple Intelligence thanks to that A17 Pro chip, but that's one iPad Mini, not the rest of them. And the iPad Air now has the M1 and M2 chip on, depending on what models you have. So there's a little bit more to go there with Apple Intelligence. But the issue is the big promises that we were promised about it having integration and being able to help you with your daily life. All that is coming later in 2025. And it was announced almost, I don't know, I want to say like 9 months ago. We were promised these things, and this is what Apple's been doing, so it's no surprise. Apple with iOS 17 has, kind of released the features in layers. They didn't release them all in one time like they used to do. So we got iOS 17.1 and there were some big features. We got iOS 17.2 and another layer of big features and so on. So Apple Intelligence it seems to be coming out kind of in the same way. And I don't know if it's because they want to perfect it or they just didn't have it ready. In any case, that's Apple Intelligence. Not really much to talk about. That's the real thing. The biggest thing is Chat GPT integration. And yeah, that's great, but not the Apple Intelligence that we were promised almost 9 months ago. In any case, there was a big FBI warning about encryption for text messages between Android users and Apple users. And yes, regular SMS and MMS are not encrypted. Now, if you're using iMessage has been encrypted since like 2000, what was it, 2009, 2010? I don't remember exactly when it was released. I think it was a little after that. But in any case, we've had encrypted messages between iPhone users for a long time. Now, the problem comes down to iPhone and Androids not playing well and Apple not wanting to adopt RCS when it came out. And yes, we finally adopted it in iOS 18. However, those RCS messages are still not encrypted. So they're still, that means that they can still be intercepted by unauthorized parties leaving obviously your messages exposed. Now there's some good news. Apple and Google are working closely together to kind of fix this security gap and hopefully add end-to-end encryption soon. Because I mean, we're almost in 2025, and the fact that we can't have secure messages between like cross-platform secure messages, that's not acceptable. Do you guys have many cross-platform friends, whether you're using, an Apple device or you're using an Android, and you guys text back and forth? Well, if you do, I would recommend no sensitive information. Now, if you have nothing to worry about, most people are like, read my messages, I don't care. That's fine. You guys do what you can. But are you guys surprised? Is there any? Did you guys know that these messages weren't encrypted? Do you guys mind? Do you guys even care? Is it one of those things where, oh, whatever, trying to read my messages is not a big deal? So finally, OpenAI announced earlier this week, I think it was, that they will allow WhatsApp or ChatGPT will be available via WhatsApp for phone calls and text messages. There's a limit to it. I think you only get a certain amount of messages. Let me look that up real quick. ChatGPT integration. I had it pulled up, but I can't find it right now. But there are some limitations. So to see. So US and Canada numbers currently allowed to dial a toll-free phone number 1-800-CHAT-GPT to enjoy voice conversations with AI and can also have messaging. If you're using WhatsApp, users from a supported country can save the contact number 1-800-242-8478 in your contacts and enjoy the conversation. Now, there was a limitation, but I can't find it. There's only a certain amount of messages that you can send. But yeah, that's ChatGPT. You can now use it via WhatsApp. And since your messages aren't encrypted between Android and Apple users, you might as well use it to message your friends as well. Now, let me get back to the stream here. So yeah, that pretty much covers OpenAI and ChatGPT integration in the WhatsApp, the Apple ecosystem with Apple Intelligence, the FBI warning. Just make sure that you know and you're informed that your messages aren't encrypted. Now, Hover Air did send me out a drone, Hover Air X1 Pro. And that little guy, stay tuned for some more footage. I'm about to release one of those videos, and I'll release another one with some more ideas. Now, that little drone, what it does, it uses AI in order to follow you. So you kind of hold out the palm of your hand and the drone takes off, and then it kind of reads your face, and then it starts following you, different modes. You can have like a dolly track or a side-by kind of footage. You can have it rotate around you. You can have it just hover. So there's a lot of like little different things, but the main thing is that it flies on its own. There's no controllers. You can manually control it with your phone, but there's also no phone needed, as when you do have an app that you can work with it. However, when you're flying it, you don't necessarily need to touch your phone if you don't want to. Now, for certain settings, recordings, like moving from 4K to 180, or from vertical to horizontal shooting, you will need your phone in order to do that. But if you don't have your phone with you and you just want to fly it, that Hover Air just takes off the palm of your hand. And when you're done recording, you just kind of hold out the palm of your hand again, and it lands on your hand. So it uses AI in order to do all this face tracking and all that good stuff. So stay tuned for some footage of that, some videos, some reviews, some unboxings. So yeah, that takes care of today's episode, guys. Thank you so much for joining. I will have another episode next week, and I'll shoot out some post letting you know what we'll be covering. Thank you so much for joining.